Well, hello. This is Kathy of kathysright.com, and welcome. I hope you subscribe today because we need the subscriptions to keep on going. It's been a volatile week, at least here in my household. Not so much amongst us, really just kind of within my soul. There's something going on that's really bugging me. And it's something that I'm going to share because I can't really contain it. I'm looking at what's happening with this country and what's going on with China. I'm looking at how China was dishonest to its own people. I saw One Child Nation. I was appalled at how China treats its own people. People who would have probably normally been very moral when it comes to abortion, who were completely snowed, brainwashed, convinced that by killing children, they could better their country for the party. That was the terminology that they used. To me, that was frightening. It was like visiting hell. I couldn't watch the entire show all at once. I had to watch it in chunks because, one, it was so important that to me that I know what actually happened because I have been lied to by my fellow Americans. Oh, it's not really that bad over in China. Oh, no, they really don't do it that way because I've been to China. That's great. I mean, what you got to see of China is probably wonderful because that's what they allowed you to see. But what I saw of China, this was over 30 years ago, the people that were interviewed talking about how their lives were 30 years ago and before. And the fact that we're in cahoots, our country, hopefully not our government, but definitely our country, in cahoots with people who are so abusive to children and their own workers. It's frightening. And I personally would like to divorce China in all ways. Let's pull funding. As Trump suggested, I think we should go along with him, pull funding from the World Health Organization. Trump was right. We have been ripped off. $400 million to the World Health Organization compared to $40 million from China. Yet they take China's side in everything. They actually lied to us on behalf of China. And we're paying them to do this to us? $400 million. We have Americans out of work today because of the Wuhan virus, and we gave them $400 million. Do you know how many people that would help here in America right at this very moment? I want our money back. Yet the World Health Organization still continuously, they do China's bidding. Somebody has been paid off, and that's pretty obvious. January 14th, Tedros was singing the praises of China. Tedros is from the World Health Organization. He was talking about how wonderful China is doing, how great they've been, how they've been so transparent. That was January 14th. And another ripoff that we're probably not proud of, we've been ripped off by the UN. The UN. They look the other way when China abuses its own people. They look at the other way when China abuses the international finance community. They look the other way when China gets away with everything. And America, guess what? We get to foot the bill. This is like we're on a bad date and we're paying for it. This sucks. We're better than this. What about our sports? Our sports arenas, our sports equipment, it's intricately involved with China. Nike, the basketball clubs, all of them. China owns a big chunk of them. They don't dare say anything against China because if they do, they may lose their job, as we have seen recently. If you watch any little bit of sports TV, they're afraid to say anything against China because that's their bread and butter. That's where they get their money from, and money rules, baby. American sports, basketball, football, they're all in bed with China. All of them. I'm a golfer, not a professional, I'm far from it. But when they were making all these deals with Nike, and Nike hired Kaepernick, really? Kaepernick, to represent what? Fight the power? What the hell? I don't know. But definitely, for me, when I think Kaepernick, I think anti-flag, anti-anthem. And basically, he wants everybody to continuously be mad about race. I would like to meet the person that has been changed by Kaepernick's efforts. One person come and tell me, I was once a racist, and then when I saw Colin Kaepernick kneel, I changed my mind. I'm still waiting for that person to exist, because that whole thing did nothing. It just divided people and disrespected people who served. That whole thing did nothing. It was all drama. He was a sorry football player. Nobody even wanted him when they gave him an opportunity to audition again or whatever, try out. And so he got the big contract with Nike, China, basically. And they paid him millions of dollars to say, just do it, even if you have to give up everything. Well, isn't that what we're doing here in America in business with China today? We need to divorce China. We need to get out of bed with China, as if they had an STD, because this is not healthy for the United States of America anymore. Wuhan virus. Americans, we have been shut down by the coronavirus. I don't mean corona as in there's got to be some city somewhere named Corona. I mean Wuhan coronavirus, a concocted virus that was set on its own people. I think that was just an experiment so that they could see if it would work on the rest of the world, because they're up and running in China right now, almost at 100%. We, however, are shut down. Italy, however, is shut down. Really, is this us, America? This is not America, the America that I grew up with. This is not the America that my father and grandfather fought in wars for. Where is our spine? Are we such a cheap date with China? There's a priest, and I'm sure not just the one, but I was reading a story about one particular priest who was imprisoned, and they don't even know where he is. He may be dead. But because he was a Catholic priest but refused to be a part of the government-sanctioned Catholic Church, which I don't even know what that even means, but because he refused to be a part of that, he was jailed, hasn't been heard from. That's how China treats people. So when we think about China and all the benefits we get, when we go to Walmart, 9 out of the 10 items we pick up at Walmart comes from China. Everywhere you go. Years ago, I really did try to buy American only. I really did. And it was so hard. I couldn't find American products. I mean, did we stop making things? And then, later, a few years later, that was how long it took the media to report. Years later, I started to see photos of all these closed factories all over our country. Closed. Why are they closed? Because manufacturing, we sold out. We got sold out to China. Not just China, everywhere. But China is the most abusive. I mean, there's things manufactured in Taiwan. China hates Taiwan. In India, China hates India. But China, they know that we're going to get burnt out from them. That is why they are in the process of purchasing Africa. In Africa, slavery is still legal. Yeah, Africa. So that's what they're in the business of doing right now. So whatever happened to Chinese protesters, the ones who had the American flag, the ones who even had photos or artwork of our president, because they were hoping and praying and protesting for peace and for liberty and for freedom, something that we enjoy daily until now. Yeah, that's what they were fighting for the Chinese people. That was in Hong Kong. And I find it odd that, we were hearing from them one day and we were like, yeah, don't you wish young Americans were out on the streets fighting for our freedom instead of trying to shut our country down and become more communistic like Bernie? No. What happened was their young people got some sense and they were fighting for freedom while our young people were fighting for oppression. Yeah, let's go to colleges and shut down conservative speakers. That's oppression. Let's shut down freedom of speech. That's oppression. Chinese young people were trying to fight for the freedom that we're enjoying. Oh, wait a minute. Until the Wuhan flu got to us. So our freedoms are starting to disappear little by little. And we are cooperating because none of us want to get sick and we don't want to make our loved ones sick. And they're counting on our compassion for one another. They're using that actually against us. And while all of this is going on, we've narrowed down our political foes to all of one, Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee for president. Father of Hunter Biden, who made the $1 billion deal with China during the whole Ukraine fiasco when they were busy back in January 14th even. Russia. Like Russia was our biggest threat. And Trump was telling us, I was saying it, Russia's not our biggest threat. Russia's trying to be more like us right now. China's our biggest threat. China's taking over. They want to be the world dominant in the world. They want to be the world dominators. They want dominion over the world, not just China, not just the United States, because if they get the United States, then they're close to it financially. If they get the United States, they can control the entire world, to be honest. And it's really kind of frightening to see that we are taking this line down. Where's Hunter Biden now? There's information about the disappearing of these people who have disappeared when they were trying to warn us of the virus from China. And the information is dire because they're saying they can't find these people. Could it be that they can't find the bodies of these people? No, they just say they can't find them, and we're supposed to trust them. And we've got a choice between Trump and Joe Biden. I want to say sleepy, but I want to say mentally, he's incapacitated. Poor man. He's got dementia really bad. He can't help it, but they're using him anyway. I don't know what their plan B is, but I think we discussed that earlier. I don't trust the Democrats any more than I trust China. They're in cahoots. Look at it. The press has bent over backwards to make things sound good for China and to blame Trump for everything instead of China, where they actually probably fabricated this entire coronavirus. But you guys, are you starting to miss sports? Are you starting to miss things? I do, and I hardly watch them anymore. I used to love football. I was a big Charger fan, and then the Chargers turned on me. They left San Diego, and I was a big Chargers fan. And there's a lot of people that I know in San Diego who love the Chargers. It was all about the money. I wonder how much of that was from China. But yeah, they turned on us. And then you noticed, they started saying, well, the Nike people, they have, people who were burning Nike shoes everywhere. I thought that was wasteful. really, half of my clothes for golf are Nike just because I got them on sale. I have a full on golf wardrobe. That's about half of my closet. I'm not throwing half of my closet away, but I won't be buying any more. But I'm not going to be wasteful either.